Pretty interesting. Is it marriage or is it mortgage? It's a game show they have out now, believe it or not. It's Rob and Lizz, his morning crew on his radio.
Yeah, you get the choice between a marriage or a mortgage. Now, they don't pay for it for you, but they give the services of like the real estate agent and the wedding planner, which can get a little costly.
That's pricey, but they still have to pay something for something, and that is the actual event, but not for the person who makes it happen.
Yeah, and the person even brings their expertise and their contacts, and it looks like they might get them like better pricing on some things, but they do. So the couple goes in and they have a savings account where they can choose one of these things. So the real estate agent, the wedding planner are the ones competing against each other to get the couple to choose their services. So they show them, they show them like this beautiful home, just really tricked out with all this really cool stuff, and I'll get it for you at a great price. Wedding planner does the same thing. You want a cascading fountain, waterfall in your nuptials, we can do that. So it's pretty cool. I think I'll be watching this show. It premieres on March 10th.
It does, coming up here, huh?
Yeah, but
hands down, I would have picked the mortgage. I'll tell you that.
I would have too. I always wanted the dream wedding, that fairy tale princess kind of thing. But
bring me to City Hall.
At the end of that, well, kind of.
You're right. If I'm going to get a great tricked out house, come on.
I know, and somebody else will help me find it. The perfect neighborhood that you're looking for.
Wedding lasts for how long?
Well, a couple of hours.
It depends.
Yeah, it can.
Your house lasts how long?
For evs, and even, when you sell it, still you have all those memories built into it. So, but if I could choose, I think if I chose somebody to take a part of my life and orchestrate that for me so I didn't have to worry about it,
right?
It would be travel. Joey and I
Travel for you, huh?
Yes, we're planning a trip later on this year, and it's very stressful for me to find the right airline ticket cost and the right place to stay at a place I've never been.
She's going overseas.
We are going to go overseas. Finally.
She's going to a place where I want to go cycling, and that's France.
Yeah.
Was I supposed to say France?
Oh, you can say it.
Can I say it? Can I say the name of the hotel? Can I say the new room number? I don't know.
I was like, do you know? Did you hire the travel agent for me?
I should have.
I know.
So what about you? Hey, join the conversation. 800-447-7234. It doesn't have to be marriage. It doesn't have to be mortgage, but something in your life where you just kind of need the help with the services. You'll pay for the rest, in a
personal
sense.
chef.
Wasn't that nice?
Oh, that'd be nice.
Give me a nice nutritionist. Would you please? I need to shed all the pounds I just gained.
His morning crew.
Let's take a look at your life. Oh, no. This is a good thing. Don't worry. It's Rob and Lizz, his morning crew at his radio. But if you could pick one thing at all in your life that you could use just a little help in, not that they pay for it for you, but at least help you get to where you want to go. 800-447-7234.
Is somebody that could do my laundry?
No, not do it for you. You didn't.
No, okay. They can orchestrate a new organized way to keep the laundry under control.
Okay.
I mean, I have, there's 4 people in the house, a couple of dogs, one dog wears a sweater. So, I'm constantly cleaning that thing.
One dog wears a sweater.
He likes to dress up.
800-447-7234. This is Amanda. What about you, Amanda? What is it?
School. I was a semester away from graduating, and I moved, I don't know, like 10 years ago, up here from Mississippi. Always wanted to go back and finish my degree.
What brought you here?
It was my husband, my first husband. I moved up here we got married, and I moved up here I had lived up here when I was a kid.
So you almost came back home.
Yeah.
So what's so stressful about school, like going back and getting that done? What would you want that person to do for you?
Honestly, I have no idea.
You want them to take the classes for you?
No. I actually love school. I've always loved school. I don't know why. I'm weird like that, but...
What was it you took?
I was a criminal justice major.
No way.
Ooh.
Yep. I wanted to be a criminal psychologist when I was younger. Now I just found out I'm too much of a softie to be a psychologist.
Oh.
So, but no, I have a 4-year-old son now who's in school, and he just started this year, and something that I've always wanted to do. It's just time management. I'm terrible at that. Figuring out when I could do classes and all that stuff.
Well, what a great mom you are, too. Raising your 4-year-old, making sure he's taken care of.
Oh, yeah. He comes first before anything I want to do.
Rob and Lizz.
His morning crew.
When you start thinking about pandemic, was it a couple of weeks from now, we start hearing you've got to shut down for a couple of weeks. You have to wear the mask, wash your hands.
Yeah.
Please stay home. Don't really go anywhere.
It was wild. I had just come back from a girls' trip to New York and starting to hear some of that different places were going to shut down. And then March 13th, and I remember it so clearly, it was my son's birthday. I took him out to dinner, and it was eerie feeling. It really was, because there was nobody else in the restaurant really but us, because people were starting to stay home.
That's true. Yeah.
And
then it was supposed to be 15 days, and then they changed it to another number of days.
Yeah.
And that became almost 365 because we're coming up on that. Things have changed. I mean, seriously. Some for the good, some not so good. Some are just ugly, and you're just like, I don't want it to be like this. So really curious when it comes to relationships. Let's just talk about the relationships in your life. When it comes to the relationships in life, have it's really changed? Really changed? Maybe you're separated from somebody? I don't know. Here's the number, 800-447-7234.
Yeah, Ian was in our video department. Ian was telling me that there's a member of his family he hasn't seen in a while.
Yeah, it's my aunt. She's in pretty bad health, and she is basically compromised. So ever since everything's gone down, it's been over a year since I've seen my aunt, uncle, or cousins.
Isn't that wild?
A year. Close to those guys?
Oh, yeah, we're close. It's the part of the family that we're the closest to. We get to see them every year for Christmas and for 4th of July. So it's a big deal whenever we get to see them, but it's been over a year.
Zoom or anything? Have you been connecting up?
We've been able to connect over Skype, yeah. So, yeah.
And it helps. It's not the same, but it helps. Us on the other side, my boys were a baseball family normally. None of that happened. And so we were all quarantined together. And I will say I am so thankful for that time that we had together. Not thankful for the pandemic. Don't misunderstand that. But just thankful that we have played board games and cards and we've cooked together. Yeah, and had those conversations that I wouldn't have had before.
Oh, why don't you join the conversation? Love to know about you, the relationships, how they've changed for you in the past year, almost year. 800-447-7234.
Mornings with Rob and Liz.
It's almost been a year. Almost been a year since we started this whole pandemic. Relationships, you can't deny it. There's been some changing going on with our relationships and those that are close to us you can't even get to anymore. It's Rob and Liz, his morning crew on his radio. How about you? How's it changed for you?
Yeah, Brian says my extrovert friends now have a better understanding of me, because Brian says he's an introvert. So they're kind of suffering now, wanting to get out and be part of, different things going on. But it said, he said it helped them understand what he goes through as an introvert.
For real?
Yeah, I can see that. I wouldn't have thought about it, but that's how their relationships, they've swapped places, kind of. Lee says, I was looking back over my prayer journal at this time last year, and she was so stressed out at her job because everything shut down, and she felt like she could breathe, and it forced her to stop being stressed and just live in that peace that only Jesus can give.
I love that.
So her relationship with Jesus, as well as with herself, it looks like she grew in.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
I never would have thought of that. Never at all. Jacqueline is here at 800-447-7234. You're on his radio. Jacqueline, what was it for you in that relationship?
So my sister was doing some awesome work against trafficking overseas, and I hadn't been able to see her in years. She's my only sister. I missed her and her husband. And again, not thankful for the pandemic, but very thankful that it kind of forced her to come back home to us. So I have my sister back.
You hate that she's unable to be there on the ground doing the good work that she's doing, but good that at least your relationship has been reunited in a sense.
Yes. And so she's able to relocate down here in South Carolina to Columbia, but at least she's not in Asia anymore. So.
What did you miss most about your sister while she was away?
Oh, my gosh. Girls' night. We love doing funny face masks. We love watching Disney movies together, and we just love doing karaoke. And I know it sounds so goofy, but it was just everything to me because I don't have any relationship with anybody like my sister.
His morning crew.
Ellen is with us. You're on his radio, Ellen. Tell us about how a relationship in your life has changed since this whole pandemic has started.
Oh, man. Last spring, I decided we would grow a garden because we were going to be home, and why not? And it would be a fun adventure for the kids. My grandfather had always had a garden when I was growing up, so I ended up calling him, asking him for advice, and just, babbling on and on about all of our little
plants, and he really enjoyed listening to it and just, let me go. He passed on January 6th.
Oh, Ellen.
And every time that I look over at that area where we had our garden, it's like smack dab in the middle of our backyard because it was the only place that actually had sunlight. Every time I look at that, I realize that was God giving me more time with him, more intentional time with him. Well, because even though we couldn't go see him, I called him every week, which was more than usual because we were usually so busy running around with the kids' stuff. So I just know that was God giving me that little bit of extra quality time with him.
That is so sweet. And now you have Grandpa with you all the time with that garden in the backyard.
Yeah, let's see if it actually grows this year because it didn't do great last year.
I bet with Grandpa's advice, it's going to grow like you can't even imagine.
I hope so.
Every life has a choice.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
Redefining the minivan. It's Rob and Liz, his morning crew on his radio. We're not redefining the minivan, but the Volkswagen sure is.
Yeah, they're doing that microbus thing, and I think it was huge for the 70s and 80s or something like that.
Well, it's a throwback, but it's a new look to their throwback, and it's green, meaning that it's all electric.
Yeah.
The entire thing is electric. And if you remember, or if you've seen pictures of these Volkswagen buses, or now I don't want to call them, it's not a bus, I'm sorry, more of a van.
Yeah.
Back in the day when they had these things, and then you had, I don't know, I want to say hippies
like
or
tie-dye.
Tie-dye, that's it. Where am I going with that?
Well, it was the 70s.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
So anyway, so that was the thing back in the day, but this is a new look to the old look, and it's all, green and electric.
Yeah, and it's very sleek, and what they're saying is, so they were going to put this off for a little while, and then they started talking about the Volkswagen company, that people were starting to do van life. People were traveling across the country, and they were living out of their vans. And so that's why they were like, okay, speed up production on this. We want to get these vans out there.
Let's get in this thing. Now, here's the thing. It's not like this is for your family as far as mom dropping off the kids at school.
No.
They are looking for the adventurer that likes to go and travel and be out everywhere. So that's how they're pitching this microvan that they call it at Volkswagen.
Right. Kind of think Mystery Machine, Shaggy and Scooby, that kind of thing. Because they were adventurers and investigators.
Machine.
I mean, that's all I can think of is they basically lived out of their vans.
Ruh-roh.
His morning crew.
I think I might be changing my mind about yard sales. It's nothing to do against yard sales. I just don't like to shop, and so my weekend doesn't want to be going around in a car or going yard to yard. It's Rob and Liz, his morning crew on his radio.
I don't get into them either, and that's because I don't have success finding things.
Same.
Yeah, unlike this person that found a bowl that ended up being, so she paid $35 for it. It ends up being a 15th century Chinese antique.
Yeah, how you find that out, I don't know, but oh my word. And it's worth a lot of money, right?
Yes, it is. They're saying it's going up for auction at Sotheby's auction house.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, that is a huge deal, okay? It's going for anywhere between $300 and $500,000, not just $300 to $500.
Poor people that sold that for $35. They probably thought, we'll never get anything out of that. We might get $5, but let's put $35 on it.
I know. Well, see, when I have had yard sales in the past, somebody's like, I had like a brand name purse one time, and I was like, I'll take $30 for it or whatever, and they got me down to about $10 because I just wanted it out of the house, right? That's what I would have done. $1.50, it's yours.
Yeah,
now it's
get it out. You want $2.50? Fine.
Right? But this thing is from, like I said, the 15th century. Now, there's several others. I think there's 6 others. They're in a museum in Taipei right now. But this one, somebody is going to get to have in their own home.
Amazing.
My mom finds these finds. Like, she got me like a pearl Ralph Lauren bracelet that probably sells for $50, I would say, in the store. $1.
Really?
And she's like, look what I got you. What?
Thank you, Mama.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
This one school, especially this teacher, is like, it's got to start right here, right now, and wait till you hear about this one virtual school class that happened, in particular with one 9-year-old girl. It's Rob and Liz, his morning crew on his radio.
They were doing their virtual class, and in the middle of the class, one of the little girls, this 9-year-old girl, was kind of looking around. She, the squirrel, she was just not paying attention. And so the teacher kind of called her down and said, hey, why are you distracted? Like, what's going on here? She then yelled out that she was starving. She started bawling. She was just crying.
Uncontrollably.
Yes, because she was hungry.
And literally, she was hungry. So as they dug deep, her mom lost her job. Can't feed the family whatsoever. And so the school district kind of reaches out. And then, long story short, here's this food bank that's in town. They're called Fulfill. Hunger won't win here. I love their logo. Hunger won't win here. And so they make sure that they get all the food they need. They set up mom on food stamps as well, so that she can go to the grocery store herself and get the food that she can pick out on the food stamps, and even help her get a job. She's a dishwasher right now, but she has hope that she can continue to grow. But at least she now has some income in, and these kids in her family, because it wasn't just this 9-year-old girl in this one class, the whole family was hungry and starving.
And they didn't know where to go for their resources, for health care, and like you say, for food and to find a job. What Fulfill says is that since the pandemic in their area, the need has risen by 40%.
Crazy.
That's huge. And no one knew. This child had been in virtual class every day, and no one knew because they were at home. They didn't see the effects that the child was going through.
Not till she was distracted, and then all of a sudden just broke down. I mean, she was uncontrollable.
Yeah.
With the sobbing and the crying, and then just the screaming out, "I'm just starving," because she had enough. She just couldn't do it. So now that family has some hope.
Yeah. So maybe we open our eyes to see what's around us a little more.
Mornings with Rob and Liz.
I don't know how early you plan your summer vacations or the spring break that's coming up, but how about a nice stay in the Marriott? And I've got the perfect Marriott for you.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's on the Voyager class, which is an international new type of space station that NASA will occupy a little bit of it. So will some scientists and some other pods. And then there's a couple of hotels and some villas that you could literally travel to yourself and stay in outer space.
Okay, so a Marriott in Turks and Caicos is going to set you back quite a bit. So I'm thinking space station.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be super expensive.
They've got a great deal on
like, I'm very skeptical of this.
Oh, no, it's $182 a night. And free breakfast. Or you can stay in the one.
Free breakfast out of a toothpaste.
Yeah, toothpaste. It's the continental breakfast, that you squeeze into your mouth.
Oh, bagels and cheese.
It's oh yeah,
Yum,
this is
out of a tube.
you float on over there in zero grav.
$182 a night?
I'm making that up.
Oh, I was
How gullible is this woman?
Listen, I'm gullible. I am, but I was about to go book my flight.
His morning crew.
They are saying that giant iceberg broke off the Brunt ice shelf in Antarctica last week.
Thank you for saying where it is, because you say Brunt ice shelf. I have no idea what that is and where it is.
No, it's like a couple thousand miles, I think, off of Antarctica, 3,000 miles. I know I have a hard time saying Antarctica.
Really? That's your word you can't say, huh?
The sea,
Antarctica.
See, you said it perfectly, but the C in the middle of that word stumps me every single time.
Don't look at it and say it.
That is true. Antarctica.
She's still
I knew it. But this thing is huge. This thing is massive. They say it's bigger than New York City.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That is one humongous. Can you live on the thing? Just float anywhere you want?
It'd be kind of cold, but you probably could.
Why not? Build something on it.
Yeah.
You know what?
What?
That's a good entrepreneur thought. Build some kind of resort on the thing. It floats all over the place. You never know where you're going to go. That'd be an interesting airport to, land on. Maybe you just get there with a helicopter.
It worked for Rudolph.
The island of misfit toys?
Exactly.
Oh.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
I'm just learning something about Liz I had no idea about, but it seems like Liz and my daughter are going to get along just fine. And if you like penguins too, so will you. It's Rob and Liz, his morning crew on his radio.
Penguins are just the cutest. However, I don't know if back in 1948 I would have thought they were so cute. So let me set the scene. 1948, police officer answers the phone and there's a call. Someone says there's a giant penguin on the loose in Clearwater, Florida. Last time I checked, they didn't have penguins in Florida.
I lived in Florida most of my life. No penguins in Florida unless it's at SeaWorld.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But this one's supposedly it was 15 feet. This penguin was never spotted, really, but his footprints kept showing up throughout the years, year after year, decade after decade. And in 1988, they found out that there was a guy named Tony. Tony was
feel it coming.
He was a prankster.
Come on, Tony.
And he made, for whatever reason, these humongous 30-pound three-toed iron shoes. He would go out in the middle of the night and he would stomp around Clearwater.
You're awesome,
beaches.
Tony. And people wake up and see in the morning penguin feet that make it look like he's gigantic.
Yeah, but for 40 years, my man Tony
Come on.
kept that secret from everybody. Okay, so Tony died in 2013, right? He's 91 years old. Mm-hmm. And his family, when they wrote out that obituary, made sure to say he was a World War II flight engineer. He went to St. Cecilia Church, and he was famous for being the Clearwater Monster.
Way to go, Tony.
His morning crew.
Have you heard about what Reese's is doing with peanut butter cups?
They're making them. I'm usually a guy that does not like change with anything.
Me either.
And my kryptonite, I'm going to be honest with you,
Yeah.
are two things: potato chips and Reese's peanut butter cups. I love Reese's peanut butter cups.
Yeah.
If I could not gain weight, if it was not bad for me,
Right.
if it would not put me into some kind of shock, I would eat Reese's Pieces nonstop. I would eat these peanut butter cups nonstop. Now they're making them better. They usually, when they do a change, they make it different, and they make it, you don't want it anymore. You just want to throw it away and get a petition and say,
Yeah.
put it back.
Yeah, the
But
way it
not
is.
now.
You think? You think this is going to be good?
When you mix peanut butter and chocolate together, I mean, come on. And now they're injecting if I'm reading this right, if I understand this right, they're injecting now peanut butter into the chocolate. And so it's like chocolate, peanut butter, surrounded by peanut butter. I mean, it doesn't even look like chocolate now. Am I wrong? You can correct me.
Yeah, no, I think that's right. It's called the Ultimate Peanut Butter Lover's Cup. They say it's
Come on. Oh, no.
peanut butter on the inside, peanut butter on the outside. So they got rid of like that milk chocolate shell.
Isn't there something in it with chocolate?
See,
though?
I don't know. There might be a version where they've injected the chocolate.
It's got to be.
in the middle.
It just looks oh, my.
See, I don't think I would like the
I'm
peanut
wiping
butter.
my
I know,
mouth.
I am salivating
I'm liking-
too.
Oh, man.
But when they changed the ratio, where they put more peanut butter in the middle of I didn't like that. And I didn't like it when they took less and put more chocolate in. I didn't like that. So I don't know if
There's got to be something in the Bible about that for people who don't like that. I mean,
think?
come on.
It is.
Oh.
The Reese's Pieces you meant. Oh, put them in your hand, let them get a
There's
little
a
warm.
cloud in heaven that's just this, and you live on it, and you eat it.
I would fall
while you
through because I
live
would
on
eat
it.
it all away.
Yeah, right.